Today, Shoflin and Gibson. I'm Clark Shoflin.
Good morning.
8:36.
I'm Steve Gibson. It's 46 degrees in Redding, and it'll be partly cloudy and highs in the upper 60s today here in the valley. And there's a proposal for a large quarry just on the northern edge of the city of Shasta Lake. The Moody Flats Quarry, proposal by 3M Company. It's about a 100-year project and a massive amount of stuff that they want to lop the top of that mountain off, basically, right? We've got some folks here who are the organized opposition to the Moody Flats Quarry. They want to stop the quarry. Janice, how are you this morning?
Good morning. My name is Janice Powell. I live out in the city of Shasta Lake, and I'm part of a community awareness group that we have, and we just want to make sure that the people in Shasta County are aware of the magnitude of this proposal, this quarry out there north of Redding. So,
now, do you think this would affect people other than those of us that live in Shasta Lake? I mean, it seems like it's a big enough project, and it isn't just Shasta Lake that it's going to affect the air quality. And you know what I mean? Are we just worried about Shasta Lake?
Clark is a resident of Shasta Lake.
Yes. No, it should. Everyone in the county should be aware of this, because the county is the overseeing agency for this proposal. And the Shasta County Board of Supervisors will eventually make the decision on it. So it will be affecting roads, air quality, sound, and visual for everyone that lives here.
Does the Board of Supervisors still act as the air quality management, what do they call it?
Yes, they're the control board.
The control board, yes. They still have that role?
Yes, they do.
Because I thought the APA yanked that role.
No.
Well, they took some of their authority, I think, didn't they? Yeah. Yeah, some of it. Yeah. But anyway, they would need to give the final approval for the project.
Yes, right now, tomorrow is the deadline for public comments on the draft environmental impact report. So we're urging the public, you can email. The Bill Walker is the staff person in charge at the Shasta County Department of Resources. So if anyone has any say, pro or against the quarry, it's a good idea to let your views known so that the people can make a choice about this proposal.
Janice, how long did they extend that? Because originally it was supposed to end a while back, right? The comment period?
It was extended to 1 month.
So they extended it, and come on, I mean...
It ends tomorrow.
It ends tomorrow. Are we not getting enough comments on this? Is there anybody that anybody's run into out in Shasta Lake? And I'm just saying from personal experience. Is anybody for this thing other than the 3MP? Are there people out there for it? Oh, is that, because does anybody, because I keep waiting for somebody to go, hey, why don't you shut up, Clark? We're in the mood for our quarry out here.
We do have a lot of people who are concerned about jobs in this area, and they believe that the tax revenue will help. But we don't believe that. It doesn't weigh out.
How many folks are they talking about hiring, do you know?
Is that all? Yeah.
How many? I'm sorry, how many?
25 to 40 permanent employees. There'll be more for the construction phase, but that's short term. And then once it's up and running, they anticipate 25 to 40 employees.
And there's no guarantee they're just going to hire people out there in Shasta Lake either.
Well, no, and those jobs are already here, working for existing quarries that would likely be shut down if this is approved.
Okay.
It's not new jobs. It'd be a transfer of jobs.
Mm-hmm.
There'd be very few new jobs created with this for our community.
All right, well, because here's my thing. I think and no offense to the mill or anything out there, but the air quality out there kind of sucks anyway right now. I'm not real thrilled with the air quality out in that area. There's the mill, there's Knopf. Is this really I know, and I sound like I'm running around with my tie-dye shirt. But I mean, I'm living out there. Everybody I run into, nobody seems real thrilled about the quarry.
Well, right, and we're at the end of the basin there. We're surrounded on 3 sides by hillsides. And so anything that comes up the valley really just sits right there.
It does. I'm telling you, the amount of dust. Everybody else lives out there, right? Is there not a poop load of dust all over the place all the time that you're constantly? You know what I'm saying?
Well, it is a dead air zone, right?
Yeah.
It is.
It's really scientific.
Rob works in the mining industry. He's very well read and knowledgeable about the whole mining industry. He lives out there, so I'd like to let him speak to that issue.
My name's Rob Sampley, and I live in Mountain Gate, but I'm also a miner. I'm a certified miner. I'll attend my 22nd annual MSHA refresher tomorrow.
Wow, you look like a grown-up.
I've also worked on a safety committee for one of the largest mining operations in the world. I know everything that comes with a mine of this magnitude, and there's some serious health hazards associated with a mine this size, and it's too close to our communities. It's a serious thing to have it this close to our townships. And most people don't realize it's not one of these little ma and pa operations that we're used to seeing in Shasta County. This will be a huge operation with far more toxins in the air than we've ever seen.
Rob, have you ever been involved in opposing anything, any project like this? Have you ever been an environmental activist in any way?
Never. No, I'm not an activist. I'm not even comfortable speaking like this.
Yeah.
Right, I get you on that. I mean, I totally do. It's because here we're talking about our community. It's not like we're running around just going, "Oh, stop the quarry."
Yeah, I gathered that.
Respect the tree. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. This is important.
Exactly.
This is something you're familiar with.
I'm one of the jobs they're talking about. This is how I make my living. A large portion of my living comes from working at these existing quarries.
And you're not trying to keep guys out of a job.
I'm not anti-mining at all. It's just a mine of this magnitude is too dangerous to run this close to our townships. It's got hazards they can't control.
Now, can you give any sort of examples?
Well, absolutely. 3M plans to blast twice a week, and a large blast will put plumes hundreds of feet into the air. Blast fumes and dust that they can't contain. It's not possible to contain.
Will it shake some of those dam era houses off their foundations?
Well, you'll be able to feel the seismic activity, but it's not going to jar your teeth. But you'll definitely know when a blast goes off. But the dust goes hundreds of feet into the air, and it drifts with the wind, and it will settle on our communities. And they have substantial health risks. And
They're unavoidable and can't be mitigated. I mean, it's listed in the environmental impact report that there's nothing they can do about these problems.
I read that there are a lot of unmitigatable effects.
Absolutely.
I was surprised at how many there were actually in the report.
And that will settle not only on our homes, but on the mountains and the streams, our water sources. It won't be a local contamination. It will move with Mother Nature, with the wind, with the streams. There are serious health factors involved with just the blast alone, not to mention the other airborne things that they can't control, like diesel fumes and asphalt fumes, and you can't control things once they get in the air.
We're also very concerned about the tourism aspect. You know, Shasta Lake City is the gateway to the national forest there, and we're pretty sure, although 3M is disputing this, that people that rent houseboats will be able to hear those blasts. And what about the particulates and everything going into the lake? And will someone really want to stay out there if they drive through that quarry business on the way? So we think that that's something that people should be aware of.
Another thing I've tried to get out there is that it's not just a Mountain Gate Shasta Lake issue. It's going to be very visible to the entire Redding area. They're going to take the mountain down. It's not going to be a hole in the ground. It'll be very visible to Redding.
A big open pit, right?
Well, it's not a pit. They're going to go 900 vertical feet up the side of the mountain. And we suggested at a recent meeting that we be able to take a picture from the North Pit site, a panoramic picture, just to show how visible it would be, and they denied that request. They don't want people to know in Redding how visible this will be.
Exactly.
Now, the air quality, I mean, Lake Boulevard's not that far away. I mean, couldn't it conceivably all drift over into that area and stuff too? All this other business? I mean...
Absolutely.
Well, down Sacramento River Canyon.
Yeah, it seems like there would be people affected by it, not just as we mentioned in Shasta Lake.
Of course.
All right, what else? I'm glad you brought up the tourism, by the way, Janice. That's something else, because we keep talking about trying to do more with Shasta Lake and making it even more, a place where people can come by and hit the lake.
Exactly. That's what we're all about. We have lots of agencies, the Chamber of Commerce here in Redding. There are a lot of people who are concerned about tourism, and this is just a scar that won't go away for 100 years. We have Eric Casano here also. He's a webmaster. He has a very good website for lots of information about the quarry, and it's called noquarry.org. Eric also has some great information about Shasta County resources and tourism and things that small businesses put out there to try and attract people, and this just won't help at all.
So Eric, you've been doing some homework, have you?
Yeah, I've tried to keep, knowledgeable about this particular subject. There's a lot to learn, but there's a lot not to like about it after I've studied it. One thing that people need to know is the zoning having to do with this particular project is not appropriate. They would have to rezone hundreds of acres of property to the mineral designation that's currently not mineral designation to make it work. And they also want to extend it from we currently have a 30-year restriction on mining. They want to extend that to 100 years. So there's a lot of things that they're trying to shove down our throat that doesn't fit in the current plan. So an argument could be made against this project, specifically because the plan doesn't support it.
Do you think, is the Board of Supervisors in support? Have you spoken to the supervisors?
I haven't asked them for their perspective on it, but I haven't seen any, they play a pretty close hand, so I don't know where they're at on it. Hopefully they will shut this thing down, and I hope they represent the people that are here already,
Their track record is pretty industry friendly regardless of the industry.
Yeah, the county supervisors over the years have shown preference for huge industry in their permitting and things of that nature. They talk about strict environmental regulations that are only as strict as they're enforced. We've had big industrial polluters that have been allowed to pollute for over 3 years, and I'm not going to mention any names, but you might know who I'm talking about. And so they can talk about environmental restrictions. If they're not enforced, they're meaningless, and that's kind of what we're seeing.
And for those big industries, it's the cost of doing business. They agree to pay the fine. But does that fine go to the people that are affected, or does it go to the county for some other project?
So they just work the fines into the cost of doing business, so it's just another liability then.
Yeah, and typically they're not even fines, they're just settlements. So they try to keep it from becoming a fine. They'll just settle, and they'll sometimes pay it off over an installment plan of 14 years or something,
So you think that they're planning on violating the permit?
Well, they violated the permit in New Jersey. They have a quarry in New Jersey. It's called the Bell Mead Quarry, and they were found to be in violation of stormwater releases by the state Department of Environment. So they do not have a good track record of being a good corporate neighbor, as they've been, proposed by some people.
Where are some of our local politicians standing on this? Do we know?
Some of them are saying they're not opposed to the quarry. They won't come out and say they're for it, but they say they're not opposed. Of course, in our area, people are very concerned about revenue and jobs, but we think there's a better choice than this 3M quarry. We think that they should be looking for things that are to the like of the people. So,
as your group gets more visibility, gets louder, do you expect 3M to launch a public relations campaign?
Well, they already have. They're using a person who was the president of the local Economic Development Council as their community relations manager. He used to work for the people, and now he works for 3M.
There's one thing interesting to note, too, is Shasta County and other municipalities in Shasta County give a certain, thousands of dollars each year to the Shasta County Economic Development Corporation. And in this case, they're the cheerleaders for 3M. So you can kind of see where there's a potential conflict of interest. If they're using our tax money to pay the Shasta EDC, and then they're promoting 3M, it kind of makes you wonder, if there might be a conflict of interest.
Where do their loyalties lie?
Well, the EDC won't oppose any project. I mean, in any kind of industry, it's their job to support.
Yeah, they've been active proponents of this particular project, and you're right. You might be able to generalize that, but it just appears to be that they're a big cheerleading squad.
I see your point though about the public funds.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, people only have through the end of business tomorrow. I mean, to make their comments known.
Well, the way the process goes is this is just the draft environmental impact report, and after the Shasta County Department brings in all those comments, and I believe there's over 250 letters that have been written to this point, which is quite a bit for our county. So they bring these together, and then they put that package to the Shasta County Planning Commission, and they make an opinion about it to the supervisors, and then the supervisors are the ones that vote on whether or not those changes in the zoning ordinances can be met. And
So
then the project goes forward from there.
So if there's overwhelming public opinion against the project, would you expect the Planning Commission to tell 3M to pack up and go away?
I should hope so.
And can that come from just Shasta County? It doesn't just have to be Shasta Lake residents. I mean, everybody in Shasta County, this affects everyone, doesn't it?
It certainly is. The Shasta County supervisors represent the people.
So it's not, hopefully not just everyone out in Shasta Lake that's looking at this and wanting to do something about it. If it bothers you and you live over here by the radio station, you know, an Enterprise area, we're hoping that you make a comment about it as well.
What's your website, Eric?
It's noquarry.org.
Noquarry.org if you want more information from the opposition to the Moody Flats Quarry.
And I guess it's a point I would be very interested to hear, because I really have not, and I know 3M obviously, and they've got their cheerleading, but I've not, and I live out there, I don't run into people who go, once again, hey man, that quarry's going to be really awesome, and I don't know what your problem with it is. I mean, nobody, I would still love to hear from somebody that's completely for it and why. You know, I'd be very interested. So you guys, thank you very much.
Thanks for having us.
What's the website again, Aaron?
It's noquarry.org.
And the public comment period on the draft environmental impact report ends tomorrow.
And where do they do that at, Janice? Where do they get their
Well,
comment
you can
in?
do it online. You can certainly find those directions to make your comments on Eric's website, noquarry.org.
It's a really long address to the actual thing itself, so yeah, just follow the link.
Right, find that. And thank you very much. Thank you, Sean. Did I get the Rob? Thank you very much for coming in, you guys. Thank you. I appreciate it. It is 8:52. More on the way, Sean.